Sometimes terror does not come in solitude, but in a terrifying twosome. In today's video, we'll take a look at the story of one of the most disturbing serial killer duos in history, Lawrence Bittaker and Roy Norris. A story where two killers, instead of one, bring double the dread. It's 1979 in Southern California, when, over the course of 5 months, Lawrence Sigmund Bittaker and Roy Louis Norris committed a series of heinous crimes that terrified the state. It all started at the California Men's Colony, a male-only state prison in San Luis Obispo. After Lawrence Bittaker protected Roy Norris from 2 prisoner attacks, the 2 inmates became good friends. Both had a lengthy criminal record, largely for assaults, attempted murders, and in Norris' case, multiple sexual assaults. While in prison, the 2 men made plans to rape and kill women all over California, and as soon as they were released from jail, they started on their grim journey. In February 1979, the 2 purchased a silver gray GMC cargo van and gave it a sinister nickname, Murder Mac. On June 24, 1979, while driving the Mac around Redondo Beach, Bittaker and Norris came upon 16-year-old Lucinda Lynn Schaefer. They forced her into the car and drove her to a secluded mountain area where they raped her repeatedly. After that, Bittaker got a wire coat hanger and wound it around Lucinda's neck. He then gradually tightened the wire using locking pliers. When Lucinda died from the torture, they wrapped her body up in a plastic shower curtain and dumped it in a nearby canyon. 2 weeks after the murder of Lucinda, they kidnapped 18-year-old Andrea Joy Hall, who was hitchhiking along the Pacific Coast Highway. Like the first victim, Norris bound her arms and legs and taped her mouth shut with duct tape. Bittaker and Norris then drove her to a secluded location in the San Gabriel Mountains. Once again, they raped their victim repeatedly and made her pose naked for some Polaroid pictures. After taking Andrea to another location, Norris stabbed her in the brain by brutally forcing an ice pick through her ear. Over the next 3 months, 4 more girls would become victims of the killer duo. 16-year-old Shirley Lynette Ledford was their final victim. While Bittaker and Norris took turns raping, torturing, and eventually killing the girl, they caught the whole ordeal on tape. Finally, Bittaker and Norris were apprehended on November 20th, 1979, by the Hermosa Beach Police. The media dubbed them Toolbox killers because the instruments they used to torture and kill their victims were items from a toolbox. On March 18, 1980, Norris pleaded guilty and agreed to testify against Bittaker in return for having the death penalty taken off the table. The most damning piece of evidence presented during Bittaker's trial was a 17-minute segment of the audio recording the pair had made of Shirley's final moments. More than 100 people were in the courtroom when the tape started playing. Many people in the audience and on the jury started crying as soon as they heard what was on it. Some people in the audience buried their heads in their hands, openly cried, or left the courtroom before the tape was over. During the tape being played, Bittaker smiled the whole time. On March 24, 1981, Bittaker was formally sentenced to death. Norris, who testified against his partner in crime, received a life sentence. 6 years after their conviction, the harrowing case claimed yet another victim. In December 1987, Paul Bynum, a 39-year-old Hermosa Beach detective who had been in charge of investigating the murders, killed himself. In a 10-page suicide note, Bynum said that the crimes committed by Bittaker and Norris were still haunting him and that he was afraid they might get out of jail. In 2019, Bittaker died at the age of 79 at San Quentin State Prison while awaiting his execution. Norris died at the Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility in 2020, a year after Bittaker, at the age of 72. And so we have it for today's video. If you've been gripped by this harrowing tale, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories about serial killers worldwide. What are your thoughts on what drives such terrifying twosomes? Share your theories and insights in the comment section below. Until next time, stay safe and keep your curiosity alive.